Hi everyone, so we're studying about aldosterone escape. So what happens in the aldosterone escape? Before that, we need to understand what aldosterone does. It increases sodium reabsorption and it does what? It increases potassium excretion. So it's going to cause excretion of potassium and it's going to increase the sodium reabsorption. When sodium is reabsorbed, obviously what will happen? Your blood volume goes up. How does it go up? Because your thirst center gets activated and excessive ADH is also released. When antidiuretic hormone is released, what does it cause? It causes increase in water uptake. So water is reabsorbed from different regions of the body and especially your kidneys, exactly. So from kidneys, water is also reabsorbed. So simultaneously, the reabsorption of sodium and water, this increases the blood volume. And when blood volume increases, what happens? The arterial pressure increases. So arterial pressure increases as a result of increased sodium uptake and water uptake. Now, when arterial pressure increases, this is detected by our body and what it does is it stimulates or it asks the kidney to excrete the sodium and potassium. So again, the same thing is happening, like we sodium and water, sorry. So the same thing is happening. First of all, our body it was reabsorbing sodium and water. That was in response to aldosterone. Because of aldosterone, sodium was reabsorbed. But then the body realized that wait a second, the arterial pressure is going too high, and it's going to signal the kidneys, and it is going to cause excretion of both sodium and water. And this excretion of sodium and water, this is referred to as pressure natriuresis. Natriuresis is removal of the sodium, and this is in response to pressure, the arterial pressure, right? And the other thing is pressure diuresis. Diuresis is basically the removal of water. So pressure natriuresis and pressure diuresis. This is basically the kidney excreting sodium and water in response to the high or elevated arterial pressure. Now, so this entire mechanism is given the name of aldosterone escape. Now, basically what happens is that to return to normal sodium and water excretion in the kidneys as a result of pressure natriuresis and diuresis is called aldosterone escape. So basically, as a result of pressure natriuresis and pressure diuresis, what will happen? Obviously, the sodium and water will be secreted out, and this is going to ensure that the arterial pressure returns back to normal. So this is basically aldosterone escape. Why is it referred to as aldosterone escape and not something else? This is because this entire cycle was initiated because of aldosterone. So let me just give a recap. So what happened? First of all, aldosterone, it does what? It increases the sodium reabsorption and it causes the excretion of potassium. When sodium was reabsorbed, simultaneously water was also reabsorbed. I do not want to get into the details of the mechanism. When water is also absorbed, the arterial pressure, the blood volume increases and simultaneously arterial pressure increases. When arterial pressure increases, the body signals the kidney to excrete that sodium and water. So that sodium and water excretion is known as pressure natriuresis or pressure diuresis. And as pressure diuresis and natriuresis, this brings the arterial pressure back to normal. So that bringing back of arterial pressure is referred to as aldosterone escape. And that excretion of sodium and water is pressure natriuresis. So as a result of the two, what will happen? The blood pressure will come back to normal, arterial pressure will come back to normal. That is aldosterone escape.